welcome to Junior Primary Channel for interview. I'm Dola Festus. Well, a very good evening, my people, my unemployed teachers and student teachers. I'm so glad to see that you choose our channel as a productive and educative one. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. So on our today's discussion, we are tackling or we are focusing on the tips about the interviews. So interview is divided into two sections: the written interview, which is the first one, and if you pass the written interview, they will call you for the oral interview. So I'll be taking you through these two sections of interview: the written interview, which is the first one, and then the oral interview. Let's begin. We are going to start with the written interview. So the written interview, so this is the first interview you are requested to attend to come for right. It's a written interview. Once you have applied for a post, they will call you. If you meet the requirement, they will call you to come and see it for a written interview. And then what will you need to know? What do you need to know before a written interview? These are some of the tips that you need to know before you go for that written interview. Let's go through. First and foremost, you need to study. You need to prepare. You need to study the acts, the policies, the IPM, the SILAB, and you need to study these documents the earlier, because the earlier the better. You need to study them before not even any advertisement of a post. You just to start studying them, whether you see or you get a post advertisement or not. You just need to start studying them. Again, you need to look for past question papers. You need to familiarize yourself on how questions are being asked. You need to look for past question papers. I'm advising you to study in a group so you can challenge each other's with questions. You can even set up in a WhatsApp studying group. I'm recommending you to do that. You need to know what grade the post is for, what grade, so you can make sure that you familiarize yourself with the correct information. You need to know the name of the minister. Who is the Minister of Education, the deputy, the secretary, the directors, and the inspectors. Especially for the director and inspectors for that certain or in that certain region. You need to do the research about the school. Who was the school principal? Maybe after the new one, or if the school have a new principal. What is the school vision and mission? Some of us, we use just to pass through the gate without even not being concerning the school mission and vision, which is not typed, but written on school gate wall. Okay, you need to do what? You need to have your own guess in that written interview. Try to have your own guess. Don't just leave the question unattended to. Yes, and then you need to use your university notes as well. Student teachers, avoid, or let me just stop deleting the notes after or at every end of a semester. Avoid deleting those notes, because those are the same notes that you get to be in need of them when you want to tackle your written interview questions. And then remember, the earlier the better. The earlier the better, and avoid cheating, because cheating, they f- if they catch you if they catch you cheating in an interview, it's a serious matter. It's a serious matter. It's a serious matter. Yes, and you need to know the abbreviations. Those abbreviations, you need to know them, and you need to know the documents and all educational documents. Make sure that you familiar yourself as times goes by and by. Okay, that was for a written interview. Then you move to for a oral interview. So the oral interview, it came in when you pass the written interview. So there's no way you can go for an oral interview without through the written interview. So the oral interview, so it is set uh, within a logical order or format of oral questions. So there's a certain setting that aligned in oral questions. So the first one, the questions that will be asked in the first section, because there are also sections in the oral interview. The first one is decision making. You'll be asked about the question based on decision making. Are you able to make decisions? Number two, job knowledge. Do you have the knowledge? Do you have the knowledge about the job? Number three, problem solving. Will you be able to solve a problem in educational setting, an educational environment, maybe between you as a teacher and the learner, between you as a teacher and the parent, between you and the teacher and your colleagues, or between your colleagues, or a problem between the learners, a problem between any problems. Will you be able to solve that certain or particular problem? Number four, interpersonal skills. The skills. Number five, career goals. The career goals. You can even be asked like, how will you see yourself in coming 5 years? And then you can find a person answering that, I will see myself in 5 years, maybe at another school, which is like you are exposing yourself that you don't want to be employed. You don't want to value that school. You just want to be employed, just to make it through out, to go to the next to the other schools. So make sure that when tackling these questions, you need to be quite intelligent. Number six is a verbal communication. How are you going to communicate with your colleagues, with the parents? Is it in a formal way? Is it in a good manner? Or are you going to violate? Or are you going to make some insults? Are you going to badmouth the colleagues? Are you going to feel irritated by the parents? But make sure when you're answering these questions, so when it comes to oral questions, so they are in a logical order. The first one, remember, decision making. Number two, job knowledge. Number three, problem solving. Number four, interpersonal skills. Number five, career goals. Number six, because there are six, number six is a verbal communication. Okay, and then before an oral interview, what should come into your mind? You need to be coached before an oral interview. Consult a coach, people who do coach. Or if you cannot afford, you can search on YouTube. There are people who are really giving out information that are helpful for unemployment teachers who are looking for job. They can really trust me. They can really help. Yeah, they can really help you. And then you need to keep your professionalism, meaning you need to dress properly. the way you speak. Try not to violate any law. Try not to violate any policy. Keep your professionalism. Yes, you need to keep your professionalism. And then you need to believe in language skills. What you're going to answer there, make sure it links to language skills. And you need to research about the school. Who was the school principal? Maybe the school mission and the vision that you just spoke in the what, in the written interview tips. And then you need to when you answer the questions, you need to think before you answer. You need to know your rights. You need to keep smiles. You need to thanks for the questions. You need to use hands as a body language, but avoid this one is very much looked for. You cannot you can tell a person use hands as a body language, and then they will be like, I'm using body language, I'm using body. My dear, by this way you are straight pointing. Avoid straight pointing, but hands as a body language. Always be positive. Always be positive. Whatever answer, be positive. And you need to do what? You need to go through the job description. You need to go through the job description and only see it when you are requested to. When you knock on the door and then they will let you in, you don't just come in and just sit like that. Normally, when you knock, they let you in. Normally, they greet you, you shake hand if it's possible. They will tell you to sit. Don't just sit without told to. And always reference when you are answering questions. Link your answers to a certain educational document. For example, according to junior primary policy, according to the curriculum for basic education, or according to Namibian school feeding policy, or according to vulnerable and orphan children policy, or according to inclusive education. Reference to the documents. Reference to the documents. And always have a question for them before you leave an oral interview room. Always have a question for them. When you see that they concluded or they finished asking you questions, try to ask them a question. Try to ask them a question. For example, you can ask them like,